Hello everyone and welcome to the Destiny 2 Showcase Recap and My Thoughts, the video. Today, August 23rd, Bungie unveiled Lightfall and what we can expect on February 28th, 2023. We're going to do information first, my thoughts second. Lightfall will be taking place on a new destination, Neomuna, which is located on Neptune. The Witness, Callus, and his army, the Shadow Legion, are invading this city. Why this city in particular? Who knows for certain. This is a new city that has been previously hidden from us, where an alternate version of humanity has been developing since the first collapse. It is not a rundown city. It is not like other environments we are used to, where buildings are broken down, lights are flickering. This is brand new. Neomuna does not have guardians, they have cloud striders. While guardians are chosen by the traveler to protect, cloud striders make the choice to be protectors of this city, although their powers are unknown if they have any to begin with. This is essentially everything that's been said about the city so far. As far as the campaign goes, the Legend campaign will be returning. Turns out 2 out of every 3 people who did the Witch Queen campaign did it on Legend. While most of the reward structure remains the same, you'll be getting a head start on unlocking more of the new subclass called Strand, which we'll talk about in a minute. The city is essentially under siege by Callus, him planting his ship right in the middle of it, and his Shadow Legion are scattered throughout the entire city, including a new enemy called the Tormentor, which Bungie has described as a sort of mini-boss type enemy that's a regular enemy. Think of a gladiator, but way bigger and way beefier. They also have some light suppressing tech that can perhaps freeze your super energy or shut down your abilities. Bungie is simply looking to make another fantastic campaign in Lightfall like they did with Witch Queen, with new, bigger set pieces and a new subclass as they push us towards the end of this story saga. Strand will be vital to the experience of exploring Neomuna, so let's talk about that next. Strand has never been discovered up until this point. Guardians will be the first to ever wield its power, so we kinda need to learn how to use it from scratch. Strand is all about, and I'm paraphrasing here, pulling energy from these other alternate psychic dimensions that connects everything together, taking those connections and then weaving them into something new. One of the biggest features of Strand is the ability to grapple wherever you want. You're getting a grappling hook. There are no fixed points that you must attach to, since this is supposed to be able to pull energy from everywhere, since that psychic energy is supposed to be everywhere. You are simply able to grapple the air, although it did look like there are some grapple points on certain objects, and I'm sure there are some limitations with how far you can grapple. Each class interprets this energy in their own ways, and that is mainly demonstrated through their supers. The Warlock super is where they launch several threads reminiscent of 1000 Voices, and then after landing will unravel and reweave themselves into a new form. It looks like some secondary explosions going on there. The Titan super brings out a couple of claws spinning to do some AoE attacks and probably some single target attacks as well. The Hunter super is where you get your own rope dart, and you can do whatever attacks Bungie is going to let us do with a rope dart. Nothing about their neutral game other than the grappling hook has been revealed, other than some visuals of hunters doing a dive attack and entangling enemies struck by it. I'm guessing that this is going to be an aspect. So those are the 2 main chunks of Lightfall. The new campaign, new subclass. Now we're going to take a look at some features coming in Lightfall. 3 of the major features are in-game loadouts, Guardian ranks, and in-game LFG. The in-game loadout and mod system is pretty much exactly what you think it is. In-game loadouts. You're going to be able to set up your gear, your mods, your fashion, and be able to swap to all of it with the click of a button, no matter where your gear is on any of your characters. All of these images of the UI are still a work in progress, but I imagine the layout will be something along these lines. Guardian ranks seem to be more directed at newer players. One of the issues being posed was, Unless I have a friend to play with, I don't know what to do. Bungie is trying to give those players a path to follow, a quote, knowledge ladder, unquote. These will be split up into 11 ranks focused on exposing players to all the different things and systems about Destiny. How much this will or will not affect the current New Light system is unknown, and it's also unknown if the New Light experience will be added onto in Lightfall or if it's just going to stay the same. Higher levels of Guardian ranks will actually ask people to prove to others that they are a strong Guardian and a strong leader, which sort of leads us into the in-game LFG and the commendation system. While I'm not sure if the commendation system is only utilized through LFG groups, the commendation system is used to highlight positive things about other people that you've played with, in which you'll have your own commendation score based on all of the commendations that you have gotten from other players. It is unknown if this score is actually used for anything other than highlighting positive experiences with other players, although Bungie does end up showing this clip of an entirely golden Guardian, so perhaps a high score will lead to this cosmetic feature being available. Season 18 was also highlighted in this showcase along with Arc 3.0, but both of those things are live in the game right now, and I'm going to have a different video on those things a bit later in the week. King's Fall is the next refreshed Destiny 1 raid. The race will start on August 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific, and the same rules apply as they were for VOG. You must clear King's Fall on contest mode, and then clear it again, doing all of the challenges, again on contest, in 24 hours to get the emblem. Some other significant news includes the following. Destiny is coming to the Epic Games Store, and if you download it between now and August 30th on the Epic Games Store, you will get the 30th anniversary pack for free, yours to keep. Destiny will be collaborating with Fortnite and Fall Guys, bringing Destiny-themed skins to those games, while Destiny will be getting 3 Fortnite skins, 1 per class, I assume available for purchase in the Eververse store. Also, for the week of the 23rd to the 30th, all expansions are free to play across all platforms. If you have not had a chance to play something like the Witch Queen campaign yet, it is now available for the next week to play for free. Speaking of expansions, Bungie will no longer be sunsetting expansion content thanks to more upgrades that they have been making behind the scenes, although seasonal content will still be sunset every expansion cycle, or at the very least, they didn't really mention anything about it not being sunset. And speaking of expansions, if you pre-order Lightfall, you will gain access to an exotic ARC auto rifle called Quicksilver Storm. I don't know how good this auto rifle is, so maybe wait for a review if you're on the fence. Those are all of the major announcements and features from today's reveal, so let's talk about how we feel about it. And by we, I mean me, and then you post about how you feel in the comments. When the trailer first started playing, I literally thought that they were either showing a new game or the wrong game on accident until the dialogue started. I was excited in the same way that I was excited when I saw The Witness for the first time. The Witness, in terms of visuals, is unlike what we normally see in Destiny, and this city is vastly unlike anything we've seen in the game when it comes to environments. The closest thing we've seen is probably the arcology from Titan, which isn't even in the game anymore. I've always said that Destiny is at its best when I get to feel small in a big world. But something I also really enjoy is when things shift in a somewhat dramatic way, and this setting seems really cool for a game that has historically only really had broken down buildings when it came to architecture. We've never had a massive city like this, although I'm not expecting it to be bustling with citizen life given the circumstances of both the story and just how Destiny is as a game. In terms of story implications, I have no worries at all. I'm very interested in learning all about what's happening just because Bungie has been doing such a good job with the story. Strand is also so different from what I think a lot of people were expecting, which was perhaps intentional. I think most people were expecting green to equate to poison. We just had Witch Queen, swampy areas, yada yada. But theme-wise, this is very different. The grappling hook idea was also incredibly unexpected. Bungie said that initially it was only going to be for hunters. I cannot even imagine the fury of the community in learning that it would have only been for hunters. We don't know anything about the neutral game just yet, anything significant, so I don't really plan on commenting much about that until we have fragments, aspects, although I'm guessing based on the hunter dive attack entangling enemies in a web that there will be some more web-based shenanigans happening. The supers all look pretty cool, but I do think hunters probably got the coolest thing just based on what we've seen. One thing I do worry about a little bit is how the grappling hook is going to affect content not designed to be grappling hook accessible, and how content designed for a grappling hook will work for people not using a grappling hook. I'm under the assumption that a lot of the grappling hook based things on Neo Muna are either going to be directly a part of the campaign in the form of a tutorial, so you need to have it equipped, maybe a mission or two here or there will have it, or optional things that you'll perhaps find while on patrol. People are going to have an absolute field day with going out of bounds and breaking stuff with access to a grappling hook that they can use anywhere they want. Obviously, cooldowns and limitations are unknown right now, but I can't imagine stuff not breaking as a result. But it's also going to potentially introduce a completely new era of movement capabilities in this game. In terms of new features, in-game loadouts, LFG, commendations, Guardian ranks, in-game loadouts, love it. Nothing else to say. We've wanted this for a very long time. I figured it was coming at some point soon. Love it. In-game LFG, love it. Nothing else to say. We've wanted this for a very long time. I figured it was coming at some point soon. Love it. Okay, I have a bit more to say on in-game LFG. I absolutely prefer this to just giving everything matchmaking and calling it a day. I do not think that would have been a good idea. But people expecting in-game LFG to be a cure-all remedy should be a bit more cautious. Tools like in-game LFG are only as good as the people who will use them. You are still probably going to have toxic people in LFG groups. You're still probably going to need to face some of the issues that you face with current day LFG groups. All of that toxicity isn't just going to go away because it's in-game now. I'm not saying it's right or that it's wanted. I'm just saying that you need to be aware that your problems aren't just going to go away with regards to having to deal with toxic players. The commendation system seems pretty fine as well. You're a good person, someone sees you're a good person, they give you a point. There are no negative commendations, and that's probably a good thing as that can likely be abused, although it's not like the positive ones can't be abused either. The more you show that you're a good person, the more people are going to want to group with you. I don't really see much wrong with that. And I think if you are worried about something like that, maybe just try being a good person. It's not that hard. I could see some worry about people potentially not inviting others without high commendation scores, but I think people with high commendation scores would be the kind of people to invite whoever is just trying to join their group, regardless of their status. I would hope. I've been told that a similar system exists in Final Fantasy XIV and has seen a lot of success, and I'm more than willing to let Bungie try whatever they think is going to work after only having guided games for the past 5 years. Something is much better than nothing. The Guardian ranks system seems like an interesting way to get people integrated into Destiny without having all of the campaigns available, but without seeing any of the quest steps or how effective it actually is, it's kind of tough to give feedback other than, that's neat. But the main problem it needs to address is onboarding new players successfully enough that they can get a grasp on the game without needing a friend to play alongside them, explaining literally everything. I think overall, Lightfall itself, in a vacuum, gonna be a huge success. Andrew Hops, James Tsai, the guys who led their teams in Witch Queen, they are leading those teams again. Witch Queen was a success because of the campaign being absolutely fantastic. I'm sure Bungie has learned a lot from it, and I think they would really need to mess things up badly for Lightfall itself to not be good. I'm not worried about Lightfall as a whole. What I am worried about is the issue we had with Witch Queen when it was over, and we all whiplashed back into normal Destiny life. The party can't last forever, I understand that, but Destiny has had a growing issue where they just keep outpacing the rest of the game. It was mentioned in the post-show that some strikes are getting refreshed and retuned in Season 20, not old strikes coming back, although that would be nice, but rather old strikes currently in the game getting some adjustments. Like I mentioned in my closing thoughts on Season 17 video, the game is power creeping itself. We are getting all of these cool new things, super awesome, these new powers, new abilities, but the rest of the game is just not balanced for it. Inverted Spire that launched when double primary was a thing is not ready for this. It hasn't been ready for much of anything. I don't know how much work it takes to revamp, retune, rebalance the entire game every time some new stuff like this comes out, but I'm hoping that we get something to address that issue in the coming months or with Lightfall. I know going from brand new location, great story content, new subclass to seasonal bounties, grinding weapon patterns is tough, but it was how hard we whiplashed that I think could be addressed in some way, or I'd like it to be a discussion at the very least. Bungie also mentioned that the final shape, the final expansion in the saga, is not the end of Destiny. I hope that puts some of that discussion to bed if it was not already. Otherwise, new subclass looks very neat. Excited to learn more about it. In-game loadouts are great. In-game LFG, great. Collaborations with Epic Game Store, going to bring more people to the game. Showcase was great. Very much looking forward to Lightfall. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.